And hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play. This is Myrokos, and after taking a little bit of a break from MSQ to work on jobs, including the Black Mage job quest line for Stormblood, and getting in some PvP here and there, I thought I'd get back into the swing of things with the MSQ, because I need to progress that as well. So today will be a short stream trying to get through the 4.1 MSQ. If you like what you see at any point, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell on YouTube. Come over to Twitch, give me a follow on Twitch, and hit the notification bells, because it's always better live, because I like interacting with you guys when you hop into stream. Rare though that may be. The job questline videos are uploaded to YouTube and will be released sorry, I clicked the wrong thing there. And they will be released in due order. So without further ado, let's get started. Ehrenwald's adventure. Hopefully this turns out to be something good. Lise seems troubled.
Come to see how we're getting on?
Ooh, voice acting. Yay.
We've made good progress since we took back Alamigo, but there's one big issue we still have to address. Leadership. The Domans had Lord Hien ready and willing to take the throne, but we've got no one like that here. Theodoric was our last ruler, and he wasn't called the Mad King for nothing.
Suffice it to say, our people have had their fill of kings, which means we need to find a new way forward.
If only it were that easy. Everyone and his uncle has an opinion. For the time being, we're just going to have to keep leaning on General Aldin and the Alliance for support, and see if we can't find a solution together. Something tells me we're going to be hosting a lot of meetings in the near future. But if that's what it takes, I'm ready to talk till my jaw aches. The Reach is yours, Nago. Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Ah, there you are. I've been searching all over for you. Don't worry, it's nothing bad. That said, this might not be the best place to talk. Will you join me?
Okay, what's up?
I'll get to the point. Might you be interested in a spot of adventure? After all, we were adventurers before we were scions, were we not?
Yep. That we were.
After routing the Imperials and liberating Alamigo, I reckon we've earned a bit of respite, don't you? And what better way to spend it than by returning to our roots? So, what say you? Shall we call on Alphino and go adventuring?
Oh man, I know that they're going to be upgrading the trust system for Stormblood eventually. Oh, the thought of doing the, whatever this thing is with Ehrenwald, that would be interesting. Right then, let's go and find Master Leveilleur. Actually, leave that to me. I want you fresh for our little adventure. Wait for us by the Aetherite, and we'll be along shortly. See you there. Oh, I know they haven't upgraded the Stormblood dungeons for the trust system, but the thought of doing whatever this is with Erenvald, that would be perfect. We don't get nearly enough Erenvald, or we didn't get much of Erenvald in Stormblood. It's nice when... Sorry, I keep hitting the S key, which is right now is set to Blizzard, but I'm too used to PvP. S is my button for when in the front lines. Do you guys want to see me do a stream and recording of Crystal Conflict or front lines? Let me know. Greetings, Myrokos. 'Twould seem we are to accompany Erenvald on some manner of escapade. Have you any idea what we've gotten ourselves into? No. Allow me to explain. It'll be something of a history lesson, but I'll try to be brief. No snoring, if you please. I'll try my best. Now, the events I would speak of occurred before the occupation, back when Alamigo was still a monarchy and Theodoric sat the throne. A uniquely brutal despot, by all accounts. That he was. The King of Ruins suffered no rivals, real or imagined, and his dispute with the monks of the Fist ended with Ralger's Reach being burned to the ground. In the latter years of his rule, he was seized by the unshakable belief that unseen forces were conspiring to steal his crown, and so he ordered that every soul with a claim to the throne be executed, including his own family. Well, that's kind of self-destructive. I mean, if you've got a monarchy, you need an heir to carry on the legacy of the monarchy. Without it, the monarchy dies and your nation goes into upheaval. The wealth of the poor sods he put to death became the property of the king, and it's said that these royal treasures were hoarded somewhere in the palace. Thus was the legend of the Mad King's thus was born the legend of the Mad King's Trove. Ah, I believe I see the direction our adventure is to take. I assume you have a mind to unearth this hidden bounty. You assume correctly. And would I also be correct in assuming that this legend is widely known? Others must surely have gone in search of your prize, tempting as it seems. Well, of course, we won't be the first to make the attempt. Following Alamigo's liberation, more than a few Ego soldiers turned the palace upside down in hopes of claiming an easy fortune. But even after scouring every room from dawn till dusk, they uncovered not a single coin. Their gold lust drained away as quickly as it had come. And the legend of the Mad King's Trove remains simply that, a legend. But I see you have no intention of letting the story end there. What self-respecting adventurer would? Imagine the three of us delving into a decades-old mystery. Tell me the thought doesn't set your heart to racing. You get a box. You've learned the emote box. Okay. So let's see what box. Oh. Okay. Okay. Since we didn't use it or anything, I kind of don't have the context for it. If anyone can find that treasure, it's us. But even if we don't, the adventure will be reward enough, I reckon. Ooh, since I've already upgraded my caster gear as high as it'll go, this is accessories. Well, probably use the 370 ring, but feeling I'll make that choice when it comes to it. The darkness below. You can almost see the wheels turning in Alphino's head. The news of Doma and Alamigo's liberation has kindled the flames of revolution in every corner of the Empire. I heard the Imperial province of Dalmasca has already risen up in rebellion. Which means the Garleans must surely have their hands full. What better time than now to indulge in such a diversion? Tell us, Arenvald, have we any clues as to where we might begin our search? Well, judging by how the other treasure hunters fared, nosing about the palace isn't like to get us anywhere. So we'll probably need to ask around. Would that be another way of saying no? Well, yes. I see. In that case, I shall pay a visit to the Allied Archivists and request access to the records seized from the Imperials. The Garleans are meticulous about such things. If they uncovered the trove during their occupation, the event is certain to have been recorded. In the meantime, the two of you can track down those who worked as Pal's servants and officials in Theodoric's day. Given that they would have been at least 20 at the time, you will be looking for people who have seen 40 summers or more. Anything they can tell you about the king and his bloody deeds may prove useful, so be sure to listen well. Arenvald, pray try your luck in the fringes and the peaks, whilst Myrokos makes the rounds in the Alamigan quarter. And there I was thinking I was the party leader. Not that I mind, of course. Let's be about it, eh? We can meet afterwards at Gilbard's Gate. Yeah, Arenvald, Alphino has a tendency to take control of the group. It's a little early. So we need to go to the Alamigan quarter. What is it? Heading. In the palace. No, not me, lad. Surely you've heard the stories of the Mad King. He used to hold public executions up on the Divine Audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung from the top of those steps. Suffice it to say that I stayed as far away from the palace as possible. Charming. You want to know an old maid's stories, do you? Aye, well, most of what I know of the Mad King is common knowledge. We'd only see his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he ordered. And after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say he started seeing assassins in every shadow and wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I was offered work there as a royal servant once, but the mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. Can't say that I blame you. That does not sound very, hospitable. I served at the pleasure of King Theodoric and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter of my life and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which of course we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell's bent on finding out what happened in the palace, head down the street here and ask old Ernold. He was the king's head scribe. See, yeah, this is the resident forum. Restricted area, can't without access. Boo. I don't think we really got much of a chance to look around in there during the MSQ. It was just very, very quick. It's gotten dark. Yes, I'm Arnold. What do you want with me? You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories, yet if Alamigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I shall tell you what I remember. I take it you know of Theodoric's paranoia and the public executions of his kinsmen. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturge to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it is a kindness that the monarchy ended with him. Charming. I want to use... Because why not? Wow, it is so dark now. I mean, it's thunderstorming, you'd expect it to be dark, but still. Excellent timing as ever. We have but this moment returned from our own intelligence gathering efforts. Since we're all here, why don't we share what we've learned? Allow me to begin then. Of course he has to. again. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of fantastic treasures and found precisely none. It is possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself, but I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist or that the Imperials somehow overlooked it. But what of you, Myrokos? Were your investigations any more fruitful? Yep. Turned into monsters? And what could he mean by this darkness beneath the palace? I wonder. I met an old man in Aligiri who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said not of cursed abominations. The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds. Could the scribe fellow have been spinning him a yarn, do you think? Did you believe him, Myrokos? His fears seemed genuine. He may have been lying. His fear did seem genuine. If he was afraid, that does lead credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in our search. Do not be so hasty. Arnold's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is hidden, but ere I share my theory, there is a small matter I would clarify. Ehrenwald, you spoke of light-hearted adventure, but I sense a deeper motive for this expedition. Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Alamegan mother did not welcome my arrival. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you see in pure-blood Garleans. My mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. Ouch. Ooh. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Alamigo, a feral child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, or worse. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived, but I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually, I left the city behind me and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to adventuring, and that road led me into the company of the Scions. Yeah, but first he was with the Alamegan Resistance, but then presumably left for adventuring, and then found the Scions. If my memory serves from a realm reborn. I tell you this so that you understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Theodoric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Ehrenwald, and I apologize. That cannot have been pleasant to recall, but I felt it best to be clear in our intentions. Well, Myrokos, are you content to surrender the treasure to Ehrenwald's noble cause and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? Yeah, 'cause that's who I am. You know, whatever pieces of loot I get from treasure chests, etc., that's what I get. Then I should be glad to tell you my theory on the resting place of the Mad King's Trove if you are minded to hear it. This one because I do have samurai. I could also use some accessories, but not many, I believe. Well, out with it. What's this theory of yours? The Mad King's Trove. Alphino seems eager to share his theory. Actually, mayhap it would be better if we first adjourn to a more suitable location. In case a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, you mean? Good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid one. Let us reconvene on the southern edge of Loch Sound. You mean we're actually going to the ruins beneath Alamigo? Although some more agreeable weather would be nice. Here we are. Come now, Alphino, don't leave us in suspense. Let's hear this theory of yours. Forgive me, 'twas not my intent to draw out proceedings. I simply wished to have the lock in sight while I explain. Prior to the flood of the 6th Umbral Calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were yet dry ravines. And this, believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Scala, which rose and fell during the 5th Astral. From what we know of the period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise, having been all but destroyed by war, yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of Loch Sound. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace, mentioned by Theodoric's former scribe, was not a reference to the prison, but to a place still further below, the ruins of Scala. Oh, did he seriously just jump in at that? Or is he pondering? I don't know. He's pondering. But it looked like a jump scare. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there not simply out of a desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodoric wanted to keep the ruins secure. Wait, you're saying they were meant to guard the Mad King's Trove? Precisely. And since we know the court thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city may have been magically concealed. Which would explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers, and the gods know how many Alamegans, never found a trace of the trip. Yeah, you're looking for a secret door. Which would explain... yeah. We, however, have certain advantages which they did not enjoy. Myrokos, would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of Oxeld and search for an underwater route into the ruins? While you do that, Ehrenwald and I will seek out an ensorcelled portal within the palace. Huh. Okay. Guess just follow the crystals. Stairwell of some sort. You discover a passageway that appears to lead under the palace foundations. Press on and find out where it goes. Well, wouldn't this be a passageway into the palace proper? No, certainly if it were Scala. But, well, it might just go underneath the palace itself. Alamigo, but this likely was the entrance into whatever palace or city structure that Scala had. Yep. A stone door, and it looks like it's ajar, kind of. You come to a worn stone door standing temptingly ajar. It would appear you have found an entrance into the subterranean ruins. Myrokos, it's Alpha now. We have searched the prison beneath the palace and found a door concealed by enchantment. Have you aught to report? Yeah, I found a secret door. And you believe it leads into the ruins? Excellent. Then I propose we proceed from our respective entry points and look to meet somewhere in the middle. Oh, come on, lads. We might as well make it a race. Victory goes to the first adventurer to find the treasure. Godspeed. Just like, so I'll just queue up and we'll see how long this takes. Since I'm a DPS, this will be a little bit longer than if I were a tank, presumably. But if you need to get up and stretch your legs, do so now. Okay, so here we go. Wait up! I just need a ring. This looks like a dull boat. You don't want to go like that. It's like green. Is that? Yes, it's a ring! Need last ring. Checking to make sure there wasn't a chest there that I overlooked. Ah, there's a chest. shooting beams at me. Once was one of them. Twice? Come on. Rude.
Oh, bugger it.
Are you all right?
Aye. Aye. Everything's still attached.
And why is he? Then why does he look like he's worried something might not be?
Ah, it seems both our paths led here. Very good. We spent altogether too much time fleeing fiends horrid and numerous. How fared you?
Yeah, plowed right through them.
Much the same, then. 'Twould appear this place is yet inhabited by King Theodoric's kin, or what is left of them. The work of terrible magics, I fear.
Terrible, aye. But their misfortune is our fortune?
Quite. By the 12, there is even more than I imagined.
Oh, I can't wait to see the look on Lisa's face. Thanks for believing in me, you two.
Our path was dark, treacherous, and fair crawling with abominations. Long story short, it was a proper adventure. Yep. Arnvald and I forged ahead at the fastest pace we could manage, but I was not surprised to find you waiting for us. I suppose it serves us right for challenging the Warrior of Light. Next time we should agree on some manner of handicap. Handicap? Where's the fun in that? We may have lost Alphina, but think of what we found. Quite, I'm still reeling at the sight of that mountain of riches. What, like how you reeled at the sight of that floating specter, you mean? You should have heard him scream, Myrokos. Oh, really? Spooked, are we? Must we dwell on such momentary lapses? We found the Mad King's trove, and that's all that matters. If you say so. Personally, I think you screaming like a little girl could be a little more entertaining. First Justinian, and now Ehrenwald. It would seem there is much amusement to be had at my expense. Honestly, I might as well go adventuring with Alize. Oh, so she can tease you about not being able to swim? Among other failings? The Butcher's Blood. Ehrenwald is still grinning at Alphino's discomfort. All jesting aside, we must tell people the good news, and I think Lise should be the first. Seconded. There is to be a meeting of representatives from across Alamigo, so she is sure to be in the city. Shall we seek her out? Orb. Oh, it's Watermelon Kun's flying twin brother. Yes. Very appropriate. What's up, Lise? Oh, you three look pleased with yourselves. What have you been up to? I'm glad you asked, and I'm pretty sure you're going to like the answer. You're joking. The Mad King's trove. I thought it was a myth. So did plenty of people, but they didn't have Myrokos and Alphino in their party. The credit for finding it should really go to them. As for what to do with it all, I vote that it goes towards alleviating the suffering of Alamigo's poor. Gods, if there is as much as you say. Ehrenwald did not exaggerate, I assure you. We could not hope to carry even a fraction of it out on our own. I have taken the liberty of sketching out a rough map of the ruins. If you would assemble a squad of your most trusted freedom fighters, they should be able to follow the route to where the treasure lies. Understood. I'll make sure every coin is accounted for, and that goes for the spending of it as well. Thank you. Oh, there is one other thing. When the time comes to draw up a plan for distributing the spoils, I would ask that you consult Alphino. I don't have a head for details. I'm not educated. I see that simply handing out sacks of gil won't solve everything, but I couldn't rightly tell you what to do instead. Oh, I know the feeling. I'd welcome any advice you could give, Alphino. Of course, I shall be at your disposal. Commander, we've got a problem. What now? Deep breaths, tell me what happened. A mob's gathered outside headquarters and they've started making demands. You'd best come and see for yourself. Mob? That's never a good sign.
Step back, all of you!
Like hells we will! We know who you've got in there!
We're not leaving till you hand her over!
Bring her out! Bring her out!
What's going on?
Someone let slip about Fedorla.
It's true then! The bitch really is in there! I knew it! I bloody knew it! We demand vengeance! Bring her out! Today we butcher the butcher!
Come on, you don't mean that! We'd be no better than the Imperials if you'd all just calm down!
Calm down! That monster and her thrice damned skulls dragged my man from our home and beat him to death in the street!
Aye! And my dad! That bitch has spilt enough blood to fill a lock!
We all know her crimes. She's a traitor and a murderer. How many of your resistance friends have died at her hands, eh? And here you are, protecting her!
So that's what all the fuss is about. Hearken to me, brothers and sisters of Alamigo.
Hey, who's this?
That's the Bull of Alamigo.
My friends, you are not alone in your anger, your grief, your despair, for it is mine as well. That gnawing pain in your breast, it is enough to bring an old bull to his knees. But I ask you, brothers and sisters, to think not only of the family and friends who were cut down before your very eyes, but to think also of the ones who were abducted, the ones who may yet live. Where were they taken? What became of them? These questions demand answers. I share your thirst for justice, for vengeance. But we will gain only fleeting satisfaction if we give in to our base appetites. We will never know the truth. Now is the time that we, the people of Alamigo, must decide what manner of nation we will build for ourselves, and for generations yet unborn. When they look to our example, will they see a people who held fast to their principles, or one who cast them aside when tried? I say to you, it is our responsibility to give these prisoners a fair trial, that they might answer to all of Alamigo. The Garleans called us savages, and I'll be damned if we prove them right.
I know you're right, I do. But I can't.
Ooh, that was, something. Fedorla and her skulls may have aspired to be Imperial citizens. Well, technically they already were. but they were born Alamegan to their countrymen. They are traitors of the worst kind. The butcher has much to answer for, but to simply drag her from her cell and slaughter her in the street, General Alden is right. After 20 years of imperial rule, 'tis no surprise that people should seek a target for all their pent-up rage and grief. I only wish I knew the solution. Thank the gods General Alden arrived when he did. Any later and we would have had a riot on our hands. No one goes in without the commander's permission, not even you, sir. Okay, that's fair, I suppose. My thanks, Raban. Listening to their anchor, I could feel tis a difficult tide to stem. 'Twas the same rage which brought us to our feet and carried us to victory. But now the war is over and all the unspent fury is being channeled into vengeance. Aye, and it's not just here. We've reports of mobs forming all over. Charming. They've been targeting folk known to have cooperated with the Garleans. It starts with insults most often, then someone picks up a stone. Some industrious souls have even sought to seek out the graves of Xenos and his officers. It was grim. I want to build a country where everyone, regardless of race or origin, can live side by side in peace, but maybe the time isn't right. Maybe people just aren't ready. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. The representatives will be here soon, and I'll be damned if I'm going to give up before I've even begun. Who are these representatives exactly? Oh, village elders, refugee leaders, and the like. It wouldn't be right for us to dictate the nation's future on our own, so we've planned a summit of sorts. We've even invited the Ananta and the Kickern to participate. Interesting. Alamigo stands at a crossroads, and this meeting will decide which path it takes. The matter of Frodola's sentence cannot be suffered to disrupt proceedings. Then let's execute her and be done with it. She herself asked to be put to death. Nago, I already explained why we wouldn't do that. Sending her to the gallows might satisfy people right now, but where would it end? Should we round up everyone who collaborated and everyone who didn't resist? There would be no one left, and we'd be no better than Theodoric and Xenos. True. Begging your pardon, but might I be allowed to speak with Frodola? Only I caught a glimpse of her past, a moment of it anyway, during the fight. She's done terrible things, unforgivable things, but in some ways she's a victim of the circumstances in which she was born, and that's something I can understand. Alright, speak with the prison guard when you're ready, and I'll come and join you. I want to talk to her too. I'll return to my other duties then. We've barely begun to investigate the facility where they gave Frodola her powers. Be fairly warned, friends, she will test you. Don't let your emotions color your judgment when she does. If you will have me, I have a mind to attend this interview as well. I've no great wish to save Fordola, even if I could, but there's more to her than meets the eye, I'm sure of it. Speak with the guard, and we'll go in together. I think it's best if I stay outside and keep watch for troublemakers. After what that woman did to Mefred and Commander Kempa, I'd struggle not to throttle her. Fair enough. You've come, you've the commander's permission to enter then? Yep.
Well, well, well. So many visitors. Come to have a good laugh, have you?
No, we are not here to laugh.
Or do you mean to put me out of my misery? To finish what you started? It's about bloody time.
That's not why we're here, no. Do you remember what I said? How I promised you you'd live long enough to see us win our freedom? Well, I meant it. And not to mock you either.
You're wasting your time. All of this is pointless! There's no reason to keep me alive, and you know it! I killed your men. I killed my men. And you know what my only regret is? That I didn't kill you when I had the chance!
That's a lie, and you know it! You think we can't tell what you're trying to do? That we're blind? Yeah, you're a fool, but you're not stupid. You're ruthless. Relentless. You'd give up anything and everything to get what you want. You didn't come this far, climbing over the bodies of your own brothers and sisters just to piss it all away. I see you, Fordola. I see you for what you are.
Come along, Fordola. We mustn't be late. The Imperial Viceroy will be attending today's banquet.
All right!
I seem to recall Ehrenwald mentioning something like this in some of the flavor text. Now we're actually getting
what's that Gaius like? Is he nice? Are you friends?
There you go again with all your questions. Lord Gaius is a great and honourable man who looks after all of Alamigo. He's very busy, and if we don't hurry, we'll miss our chance to see him.
Filthy tin-head lovers.
Father, what did that man call us?
The little tin-head lover doesn't know what she is, eh? A traitor, sweetheart. A backstabbing bitch who gladly betray her kith and kin to gnaw on what few scraps the Imperials deign to toss her. Like your bastard father and whore mother.
That's not true! My parents are good people! They've never done anything like that!
Oh, but they were quick to help themselves and their bitch spawn, weren't they? You're just as guilty as them.
Fadola!
Traitors!
Please! You have to do something! My husband and daughter are in danger!
Soldiers of the Imperial Army are under no obligation to intervene in the disputes of arms.
We're citizens! We have rights!
I'm scared.
It's all right. It's all right. They don't understand, but they'll see in time. They'll see that this is the only way to survive. Traitors! Traitors!
Let the savages have their fun. They'll be more compliant once they've tired themselves out.
Fadola, please! You already have citizenship. Why would you want to become a soldier?
Here it is. She was already a citizen. Fadola herself already hinted at
Oh,
this.
gods! What have you done to your face?
Forgotten it already, have you? I'm honoring Father's memory.
By telling the world that you know better than a common savage.
Am I though, Mother? Are any of us? Can't you see? Citizenship means nothing to them. If you're not a pure-blood Garlean, you're no different from any other savage. So I'll play the part. I'll join the Legion and I'll make them respect me. And when the mob see that, they'll think twice before throwing their stones. Ansfrid, Rudolph, Emlyn. It's time. It'll be hard. Humiliating. They'll try to break us. Send us crawling back to our own kind. But we won't, no matter what. We'll bleed for them, die for them if we have to. We'll do whatever it takes to be free!
So, you mean to play the part one last time, eh? The unrepentant traitor whose death will serve to unite the people?
Shut up.
You had every chance to kill yourself. Fashion a noose from your clothes. Wait for the guards to leave you alone long enough to slip it over your neck.
I said shut up!
Oh, but then it would have all been for nothing, wouldn't it? Whatever it takes. That's what you said.
Been in my head, have you? Had a little peek at my past?
Yep.
And what? A few stolen memories tell you everything you need to know, do they? Don't you dare patronize me! You don't know a god's damned thing about the life I've led! The bastards that killed him. The bastards that let it happen. My father deserved better! I swore I'd do whatever it took to make them pay!
Oh, she's getting an echo flash of us.
You. All that power. All that pain. It's too much. Too much for anyone. The things they've done to you. The lies. The betrayal. The endless fighting. Yet there you stand. Unbroken. How? Why?
You know why you saw, for those I have lost, for those I can yet save, because I choose to. The middle one was the best.
Damn you. Damn you all.
You still have time, Fordola. Think about how you want to spend it. Let's go.
The capacity to experience such visions of the past had always seemed to me to be a most desirable talent, but I see now that it is as much a burden as a blessing. Sorry about that. I let my emotions get the better of me. It's just that she and I are of an age, and we're neither of us one thing or another. I can't help but feel that she's my problem to solve. Yeah, echoes of an echo. Lise is lost in thought. I don't know that we solved anything exactly, but we've given Fordola something to think about at least. And I found something new to think about too. I don't know about you, Myrokos, but the visions only come to me every now and then. From the way Fordola kept wincing, though, I get the feeling she's having them almost all the time. That's a lot of bad memories to deal with. Yeah. I wonder, could there be some fundamental difference between one who is born with the echo and one who has been artificially imbued with it? Good question. Well, the Immortal Flames have been scouring that research facility ever since the liberation. There's a chance they may have some answers for us. General Alden's there overseeing the investigation. Let's go pay him a visit, shall we? So we're finally getting in. Okay, then. Yay. Okay, then. Sorry, still used to the mouse being on the S button. General Alden is inside. Will you be joining him? Yes, we will. The Garland music. Oh dear Lord. How many bodies? 16 here. Good. Yeah. Don't know why it is, but quick movements like this gets a little bit of a bleeding effect with the colors. I don't know why. I mean, look at this. Seeing this facility, I am reminded of what they did to Cryo. We received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and I've been recording everything of interest. How many bodies have they extracted from this? Yeah, sadly I'm getting this bleed here. They should burn this place to the ground and be done with it. Oh, it's all the way back there too, and there. How many of these ones are there? So many bodies. The other side. Next, worth sharing. Let's talk to Roma. What news? You spoke with Fredola, I take it? Yes, as expected, she didn't say very much, but it wasn't a total waste of time. Arenvald noticed something odd about her. He thinks she might be having visions almost constantly, which is not how the Echo normally works. Have you found anything here which might explain why it's so different for her? We've been hard-pressed to organize the research, just to organize the research materials, let alone study them. To be frank, I'd welcome the Scion's expert assistance if you have the time to lend a hand. While we're here, we might as well. Bring whatever you discover to me, and I'll put all our findings together. Idle conversation prohibited. Eating and drinking prohibited. The following script of parchment appears to list facility regulation, but nothing of any interest. For a race with no innate capacity to manipulate ether, the Garleans have conducted some exceedingly elaborate etheric experiments. People, less. All the pods are designed to drain the ether of the occupants, save that one right there. Unlike the others, the interior's been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To what purpose, however, I couldn't tell you. It literally sucked the life out of people. The device in which Kyle was held seems even more ominous now. You know its purpose. The surrounding pods are marked Supply Subject, while this one bears the label Master Subject. The Ironworks received a request from the Alliance to analyze these devices, and have been recording everything of interest. Did you notice the labeling? All the pods are designed to drain the ether of the occupant, save that one right there. Unlike the others, the interior's been fitted with an array of sensors to measure etheric waveforms. To what purpose, however, I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I think you already mentioned that. So they put Kryl in here, scanned her, presumably to see how the Echo worked. This was something that Geyser and Balsar wanted to do, but I doubt he'd go this far with it. Xenos wouldn't have had a problem. So many people. How many? Okay, let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16. I think 16. 16. How many people? These bastards would fiddle with a man's very soul if it served their purpose. Nothing is sacred to them. Nothing. The 21 here, there were 16 earlier. This is just replicating. Oh. So many bodies, every one of them a victim of these experiments. Few show any signs of external injury. From what we've been able to determine, they perished from forcible ether extraction. Such a miserable way to die. Yeah, it literally drained the life. We've recovered scores of bodies from those devices. What could possibly justify so many deaths? Is it just up here, or does it go down a level because it's stairwells? Just imagine stench. Unless they were drained of everything such that they wouldn't smell. Huh. Heavens. Okay. Let's get this over with. I know little and less of science, so any light you can shed on this facility's operations would be much appreciated. Myrokos, let's start. We shall start with you. Okay. Taken in combination with the testimonies of Kryl and Thancred, I do begin to see exactly what the Imperials were attempting here. The enhancement procedure entailed infusing a single candidate with ether siphoned from a multitude of supply subjects. As for the master subject, in this case, Kryl, the patterns of her etheric activity would provide the model upon which they would artificially engineer the candidate's aura. In other words, they were trying to recreate Kryl's echo. I believe so, which would explain our prisoner's present state. Kryl is possessed of an unrivaled ability to hear the whispers of the soul, and it seems probable that the procedure engendered the same acute sensitivity in Fordola. The soldiers who guard Fordola, many of them lost friends and family to the skulls. And there's a sentry at her door day and night. She can't help sensing their thoughts and seeing their past. But you don't just see their past, you live it. All the emotions, all the pain. Imagine what it'd do to you. You'd never be the same again. Indeed, as you may recall, Izael was completely transformed by a single glimpse of Reisvalger's past. Fordola has been forced to experience the agony of those whose lives she destroyed. The guilt must be unbearable. That explains her request to be executed. Sounds to me like a kind of justice. Regardless, she can suffer on for now. We have more pressing matters to consider. If the results of these experiments have been relayed back to Garlemald, there will be naught to stop the Empire from repeating the trick. They could give the echo to anyone, to an entire legion. We must be ready. We must learn all we can of these God's forsaken procedures, and Fordola remains our best source of information. She'll not be getting her wish. Not yet. Right. Keep faith, lass. If you're to convince others to follow you, you must believe what you're telling them. People will respond to passion, but not if it's fame. I understand. Thank you, General. We should leave the flames to it. Let's go. If I want to know the exact number of bodies, I'll just have to pause the screen every now and then, rewatch this and just count. I've never known why I was given the echo, but this makes me want to put it to good use. The forcible extraction of ether from a living subject is invariably fatal. How many died that Fordola might gain her new abilities? I go looking for answers about the echo and end up getting schooled by Rauban. Yet more evidence that I don't know what I'm doing. It's no wonder people listen to him and not me. General Alden is a veteran of countless campaigns, Lise. You cannot compare yourself to a commander of his experience. I know, but I also know I couldn't have convinced that mob to give up and go home. It makes me realize how much we rely on his authority and how much I still have to learn. I wonder what he'll do when everything here is settled. I mean, it's his homeland. After going to the trouble of winning it back, might he not want to stay? 'Tis a quandary which countless refugees now face. To continue the life they built in Ul'dah, or start again in the land of their birth. Myrokos, a moment. Okay, what is it, Pippin? I'm newly returned from Ul'dah with a message from the Sultana. Her Grace desires an audience with you. She understands that you have responsibilities here, but asks that you visit the palace at your earliest convenience. Well, I must away and attend to other business. Until next time, my friends. Bye, Pippin. He who is not the fool of a Took. An audience with the Sultana. Depending on the nature of her consultation, this might be the perfect opportunity to inquire about the General's future plans. Yes, we'd all like to know about those, Alphino, but not everyone's as comfortable interrogating royalty as you. Take no notice of him, Myrokos, okay? I know I could learn so much from Raubahn if he decided to stay, but it's his choice, and I'm not about to try to persuade him. Ul'dah needs him too. In case you're wondering, I'm not planning on staying in Alamigo. Too many bad memories, and besides, I like my new life. Kind of want to know what the Sultana's after. The Sultana's strings. Alphino's thoughts appear to have turned from adventure to administration. Well, the question of how to put the Mad King's treasures to good use shows no sign of answering itself. Shall we be about it, Ehrenwald? I am at your beck and call. And I should be getting back to my own tasks. I'll organize a squad to head down into the ruins, and then start preparing for the big meeting. Oh, send Anonymous my regards. It's Myrokos. Will do. And ours too, if you please. We shall see you on your return. So off to Ul'dah. I'm still a little nervous. I mean, the last time I was alone with the Sultana, someone tried to poison her and I got framed for murder. So what could this be about? Yeah, either there's a graphical issue or that I'm experiencing, or it just doesn't like dark illumination and the color red. You are expected, my lord. Please proceed. I am also a paladin, so not one of the Sultan's sworn, but hey.
I thank you for answering my summons in these most interesting times. You have been busy.
Indeed.
The liberation of Alamigo will have far-reaching consequences, and there is a matter upon which I would seek your counsel.
My counsel?
I speak of Raubahn and his future.
Ah. That makes sense for all the talk of Raubahn.
All know the tale of his rise from penniless refugee to member of the Syndicate and General of the Immortal Flames. Yet though he has come to call Ul'dah home, it will never be his homeland. He is a son of Alamigo. And now that she is free, I thought it only a matter of time before he sought my leave to return to her. Indeed, I had resigned myself to his loss. Suffice it to say, I was greatly surprised to hear him speak so lightly of handing over the reins in Alamigo and retaking his place at my side. I will welcome him with open arms, of course. He is my most trusted advisor and my dearest friend. But I have known the man a long time, and beneath that steely gaze, I spied a flicker of doubt. Whether Raubon chooses to remain in Uldar or return to Alamigo, I only wish that he do so with a heart unburdened by guilt or regret. Yet, how can he freely make such a choice, knowing how much I depend on him? It is past time that I learned to discharge my duties as a sultana alone. I must go forth and see my realm with my own eyes, and hear the wind with my own ears. Might I have your company for a brief adventure?
Of course. Hold the poison.
Wonderful. Allow me a moment to change into something a touch less conspicuous, and I will join you outside.
Is this going to be the Lady Lilira? Your audience with her grace is concluded then. Safe travels, my lord. Thank you, Bartholomew. Speak with Nanamo outside the quicksand. Okay. Yeah, and I gotta do the paladin. Job quests. Nanamo Ulnama. Under the guise of Lady Lilira, I suppose. Perchance you remember Lilira, the merchant's daughter. This is the persona I assume when I venture beyond the palace walls to observe my subjects unnoticed. Ordinarily, Papashan would accompany me, but for this particular outing I need an advisor, not a minder. And that is why I requested your company. Over the course of your many adventures, you have met people from all walks of life in every corner of Eorzea, and I would make use of your worldly experience. Now let us be on our way. Our first destination is Stone's Throw, just beyond the Gate of Nod. Look upon this procession of tattered tents. These refugees camp in squalor at the mercy of the elements and Thanalin's predators both. The city's mighty walls offer safety, but the streets overflow with people as it is, and unless blessed by the hand of Nald himself, no refugee could ever hope to afford a dwelling in Uldar. 20 years have passed since the fall of Alamigo, and 5 since the Calamity. Yet the plight of the poor has grown more desperate, not less. As Sultana, the blame falls upon me. You have done your best, Your Grace. Your hands have been tied, Your Grace. Surely she's done her best. Then my best has not been good enough. Shall we press on? I would follow the road to the unholy air. It was here in this wholly unremarkable place that my mother and father met their doom. I was but a child at the time. My parents were returning from an inspection of our interests in Eastern Thanalan when an untimely rockside crushed their carriage. To this day, it is not certain if the incident was simple misfortune or an expertly planned assassination. Raban once offered to reopen the investigation and bring me the truth. He assumed I must surely crave, but I refused. Even if my parents' deaths were orchestrated by the monetarists, we could only have brought their hirelings to justice. The true villains, those who plotted to put me on the throne as a biddable puppet, were ever beyond our reach. Thus did I plan to strip the merchants of their power and place our nation in the hands of its citizens. Quite unaware of the consequences of my actions, aware of the consequences my actions would have for you and yours. I shudder to think how many goodly souls paid the price for my naivety. Ooh, that is a callback to that cutscene. But I am no longer a child reciting words with witless obedience, and I will not be used as a pawn in the monetarist's damnable games. Forgive me my outburst. You are one of the few people to whom I can feel, to whom I feel I can speak my mind. Yeah, don't apologize for that. I am one of the few of them. Come, let us return to Ul'dah and visit the Colosseum. I really love the music of Thanalan. It's such a good rhythm. I mean, there's nothing too much to it besides, but it works. It does its job. Sorry for that unexpected pause, but I just was starting to feel a bit chilly and needed to put on a sweater. From the moment I became Sultana, I found myself thrust into an endless parade of documents, signing, and ceremonies. For years, I simply signed where I was told to sign and sat where I was told to sit, blissfully oblivious to what any of it meant. Yet one good thing did come from that ignominious chapter in my life, for it was during an official visit to the Colosseum that I first met Raoban. The match I had been invited to attend was not at all what I expected. They had pitted the Bull of Alamigo against some dozen or so rival gladiators. Blinkered though I was, I would not stand for so obvious an injustice and demanded to see a fair fight. One man against another, and my royal wish was duly granted. It was not until later that I learned of the gambling ring which had arranged for Raoban to die on the sands that day. Regardless, my intervention meant that Raoban had but a single opponent to dispatch, which he duly did, and when he knelt before me to receive the winner's purse, he swore that he would one day offer me his blade in service. Surrounded as I was by liars and manipulators, I confess I dismissed it as a pleasant piece of theater. But as you know, Raoban is a man of his word. Though it took him another 5 years of fighting on the blood sands, he amassed a fortune so great as to buy not only his freedom, but a seat on the syndicate. And then I had my blade. Flashback scene, not an echo vision, I should hope. Or is it? Yep, echo vision. Here we go. It just felt narratively right that it was a flashback. Well done.
Your Grace, you mustn't! The danger is too great! Please, Your Grace, come back! I beg of you!
It seems you're the one who needs looking after, Master Sham. Raoban!
Your Grace, I have kept the promise made.
So you have, and in turn, so too shall I keep mine. With your winnings, you have become one of the 6 most wealthy souls in all Uldar, and so, as tradition dictates, Raoban Aldin, you have earned yourself a seat on the Syndicate. May your new station garner you still greater glories.
I am honored, Your Grace, and vow to serve with every fiber of my being from this day till my last. Long live the Sultana, and long live Uldar!
Words cannot well express what that man means to me. There are others who care deeply for my well-being. Of course, Papa Shan's love for me is as that of a grandson for his child. Bear with me, Autumn is deciding rubbing. But upon matters of governance, I cannot turn to bodyguards and maidservants for counsel. Raban, with the authority of his syndicate position, was the first sword I could wield. His was the only edge which could cut the strings that bound me. I've been doing Black Mage a lot. As much as I love Gil, just 1,000 extra Gil, no. Well, it's 5:38 and I'm starting to get a little tired, and the reason why Autumn kept interrupting is because he's like, dinner time, and she's kind of right, so I think I'll call it for an intermission here. When next we pick up, we will resume the the MSQ for 4.1. With that, if you liked what you saw at any point, like, share, subscribe, give me a follow on Twitch, hit the notification bells, and I shall see you anon, friends.